Myron did write an autobiography. There was much more to Myron's story that wasn't in that book, wasn't there?
Mm-hmm. I got to go through, with Elizabeth's permission, I got to go through all these boxes. He saved, maybe not everything, not in a Rat Pack kind of sense, but he saved lots and lots of files of, correspondence and contracts and things that I hadn't expected, like the early history of the Terrible Towel in terms of the original contracts and royalty payments and sales charts and things like that. And it was interesting to see how when they began selling it in 78, it took off. And for about a year and a half, the sales were just spectacular. And Myron was getting these big royalty checks, much of which he donated almost immediately to charity. And then when the Steelers stopped winning Super Bowls, all of a sudden the sales plunged. And he actually got a letter from Gimbel's department store. They were like the outlet. And they said, a very terse letter, when your royalty reaches the amount of $10 per month, we will send you a check. That's how much the sales had dropped off by 1981. And it kind of laid dormant for more than a decade. And then all of a sudden in the Bill Cowher era, it took off again.
That's interesting about the towel. I started going to Steeler games with my dad in the 80s when they were, not so good. And I hadn't thought about it, Dan, until you said it. But you're right. People were not waving terrible towels at Three River Stadium in the 80s. It just wasn't a thing. And then I want to say it was like that first playoff game against the Bills where Cowher was the coach. And I sort of remember Myron getting on the radio and let's bring back the towel. And it's really been a staple ever since. But you're right. It kind of went away for a while and people wouldn't remember that.
He actually faced a little bit of resistance trying to bring it back because I found this one newspaper columnist said, hey, it's time to move on from the 70s. The towels, the towel is this from the decade of tube socks and 8-track tapes. And, let's try something else. But Myron would not hear of it. And he persisted, and especially the 94 seasons when it really came back.